How we doing this Monday night? And I say Monday night because it's 11 o'clock-ish at night. Now, a couple weeks, well, I would say a couple weeks, about a week ago, I was on somebody else's page on YouTube, and I made a comment talking about elderberries and what I use them for and everything else. And so I was making like an extract elderberry. And a lady on there replied and said, "How do you make elderberry extract?" Well, for one, you get yourself a good old glass 1-gallon jug, and then you take your, this is my leftover pulp from making jelly, and I didn't want to waste it, so I stuck it in a jar like this, and I threw some alcohol in with it, and then I had made another batch of jelly, and I didn't want to waste the pulp on that, so I put it inside here. So there's, down here is one type of pulp, and up here is the other type of pulp, and it's covered in alcohol, 100 proof alcohol. Now, this has been sitting since, well, let's see, August of 2020, and technically it's gonna be like an extract, except for I don't know what you'd use elderberry extract for cooking. But as a friend of mine told me, we were kind of joking when I did his house, was out there sitting around shooting shit and everything else, and he said, "Why don't you make some snake oil?" He said, he goes, "Like they used to a long time ago, I just call it snake oil." So this is my snake oil that I'm making. Now, I'm not going to sell this for extract. I'll probably let this sit a little longer, throw some more stuff to it, and let it do its magic by sitting. And after that, I'll strain this with a double strainer with some cheesecloth as well to catch all the particles. And whatever's left over, basically we'll just put it in a smaller container, and I'll give it to some friends for gifts, and they can use it for sipping on, or they can use it for cooking, whatever they want to do. But once I give it to them, what they chose to do with it, it's up to them. But like I said, this is elderberry right here, and it has that elderberry kind of smell, like one that's dried a little bit, except it has a little bit of a fruity smell to it, but not too much. Now, one of my bigger things is I made this mainly for, say if you're making certain style desserts for adults, or say if you want to make some blackberry cobbler, something like that. This is my blackberry extract. Down there's a lot of the berries. I've taken some of my berries and warmed them up a little bit so I could smush them down and get a lot of the juice out of them. And I poured the juice along with the pulp inside here. Now this here was filled up to about right there, and I given that much away to a person I know. They were going to make a bunch of stuff for Thanksgiving, like cobblers and stuff, so I gave them a little over more than what was left inside this jug now. This is 100 proof alcohol as well, and it's kind of homemade. But anyway, this is going to be, once I get some other alcohol stuff back in this of the same proofage, and this has been sitting since probably June of this past summer. So I'd say by April, May, somewhere around there, this will be ready to actually be bottled. I do got some more blackberries inside there. I'm stick inside here, and then when I do that, I might add some more alcohol to it. And this is ready, almost ready to be used as is. As you can tell, there's a nice color to it. It's a nice little hue. So, you know, it's not clear by any means. And you see next to me, you know, it's still, you can still see through it, but it's not as, you know, it's not as clear as what you would think it should be. But that's my blackberry. And this jug here, this is my orange. This is made from 3 different types of oranges. I dehydrated some blood oranges. I dried them to where they're like hard as a rock. And then I cut them in half and stuck them in the jug. And then I put navel oranges and some California oranges together. Well, Florida oranges and California oranges, just the peels. But the blood oranges, I put the pulp, the rind, the whole kit and caboodle. And that's what made it change to this color right here. This is great. I love it. Now, if you take this cap off this container, which I'm doing, and you take your cap like this, and you give it a good whiff, think of Orange Crush, the soda. That's what it smells like, but with a kick. This one's a kicker. Because this one here, this is 120 proof. And this is my orange. This is what the wife uses when she makes her orange creamsicle fudge. And but yeah, this jug right here, it's 120 proof. And it's straight orange extract. And you can tell by that color, it's nice and pretty. Now down here, it's a little bit of sediment still on this here, which I don't mind the sediment because it just gives that initial flavoring. But yeah, this is my orange. And now, if I was a drinker, which I'm not no more, due to my wild teenage years, you take your cap here like this, put it back on your arm, you can turn it up and take a big old snort of it. I'll tell you what, it lights you up. But this is my orange. It's orange extract, and this actually, truthfully, this is ready to be bottled, and I can be using it. Well, if I bottle it, label it, cap it, do my whole kit and caboodle, this will be ready for the farmers market for April 11th of 2021. But I'm leaving it like this because I have a feeling one of my good long-term redneck buddies is going to want something for Christmas, and I might have to just give this to him for Christmas as a gift and say, you know what, here you go. So now I do have other containers of this right here in smaller form in my cabinet right here next to me. So if I did give this to one of my buddies, you know, I know I could break this down and pour probably 10 to 12 bottles, and I could sell the bottles for, well, usually I sell a minimum of $5, but this year with the cost and inflation and everything else going up, I'll probably have to raise my prices on my extract. This, for one small bottle of this would be $8, but it'll be about an 8-ounce bottle. So you know, you'll definitely get your money's worth and shebang's worth and everything else. And like I tell people all the time at the farmers market, you know, if you come in there and you buy this, I tell them what it's made with. I tell them the proofage, I tell them what I put in it, how long it sits, and everything. And I tell them, I said, you can take this home and use it for cooking, or you can take it home, you can drink it. It's up to you. But I tell them all the time, my intent of doing this is made for cooking, not drinking. But if you choose to use it for drinking, that's on you. When you get back to your home, you can do what you want with it, you know. But my sole purpose of making this stuff is made for cooking. And my stuff sits for a minimum of 8 months. Anything before 8 months is considered flavored alcohol. And by state of Kentucky, if I was to sell that at the farmer's market, and basically I'd get nailed, and the ATF would get involved, and there'd be a huge ass penalty and fine and everything else. So all my stuff that I make sits for a minimum of 8 months, bare minimum 8 months. Some stuff sits for longer. Like I have a jug right here. Well, it's a container bottle. This right here, this has been sitting for over a year. You see, and this is, you can see a little bit of transparency right through there. It gets to the top, you can see it up here by the neck. Some of this over here, you can see a little bit through that. This is my cinnamon extract. This stuff has been sitting for a minimum of 1 year. And this stuff here, I would take the cap off, but my arthritis, my hands is killing me right now. And plus, it's a tight cap, and it's a pain ass to get off. This smells like hot damn and liquid honey bun, and it's really strong. Has a wonderful smell to it, but this is my cinnamon, and I got, let's see if I can see through here. 1, 2, I got 3 cinnamon sticks. Basically, the cinnamon sticks go from about right here where my finger's at all the way to the bottom. And each cinnamon stick at the time was about that big around, because it had big enough to fit inside the neck. But as it sits in here, the cinnamon stick actually opens up and spreads out. So one cinnamon stick right now is about this wide, and it's just, all it's doing is, it's like, I hate to use the word melting in alcohol, but that's basically what it's doing. And the longer it sits in this, it'll get stronger, but it'll get a lot more flavor, and I have a lot more smell and the richness and everything else. So this right here is my cinnamon. This has been sitting for a year, and yeah, this one here is going to be a great one for using for cooking. Now, I thought about at one time just taking this bottle here, putting a label on it saying what it is, what it's made with, and then taking this big ass bottle to the farmer's market and saying, okay, just give me $20 for the bottle, which, this would be like dirt cheap. And because especially if people use it for like making cinnamon rolls or things of that nature, this is gonna be your shebang buck maker right here, because this right here, man, I tell you what, it'll make you some of the best junk food you ever had. And then I get asked all the time, well, if I use this product that has all this alcohol in it, when I cook with it, doesn't the alcohol stay in the product when it's being cooked? No, because the alcohol evaporates, and what you're left with after this evaporates is all the flavoring that the alcohol is mixed with, and basically you're left with a ton of flavor, and there she be. So, and that's, this is my basics. The blackberry, I'm going to throw some more stuff. Of course, I'm going to have to let it sit a little longer, because I'm going to add a fresh batch of alcohol in with it. So it's going to have to sit a minimum of probably, well, if I do it now, January, February, March, April, May, at least May, I can use that, because that right there has already been sitting since the middle of June. So you figure that right there is almost technically ready to be used, almost. Let's see, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. So in February, that'll be ready to be used. So then when I add some more alcohol to it, April, May, June, yeah, I'll just push it and say July. July, that'll be ready to be used. I'll have to mark that on there later on. Put July on, ready to be bottled in July. So that right there will be a July bottle, which will be fine, because blackberries will be coming in season around here, and people love making blackberry cobblers and everything else for the 4th of July and everything else. So yeah, that'll be a great money maker. Now, I dried some bananas about a year ago, and I used my dehydrator, and they came out perfect. They didn't turn brown. They didn't get all funky-fied. They stayed nice and crispy. And I made them for trail mix. And well, I gave some away. I kept some. I stored a big old bag of them. And what I did was, I was sitting one day. I said, you know what? I'm gonna try something different. Just something off the wall crazy. I wanted to try something new. So I got me some 100 proof alcohol, and I stuck it with my bananas. Look at that. It has almost like a brandy kind of look to it. Kind of like almost like a bourbon kind of look. And that's dried bananas, soaked in alcohol. And this is my experiment, because sometime this winter I'm gonna make banana bread. It smells like banana brandy is what it smells like. I want to take a sip, but I'm not. Man, I love to take a sip. But this is gonna be my experiment, and this turns out well. I'm going to get me a big jug like I have down there, and I'm going to dehydrate me a ton of bananas, and then I'm going to go to my buddy's house and get some more of that 100 proof alcohol he has, and I'm going to pour all this mixed together in a great big ass vat of it, and I'm going to have a great big old thing of banana extract. A friend of mine took a little finger, dabbed it, and took a taste of it, and they said, man, it tastes good. And they said if they bought a few stalks of bananas, had me dehydrate it, and got the alcohol mixed together, would I do it for them? I'm like, well, hell, if that's the case, I just dehydrate bananas, give them to you, and you can stick it in a container and throw the alcohol into it and let it sit and do its thing. And they said, well, no, my problem is I would be digging into it before it's even ready. So I told them, well, you get the bananas, I'll dehydrate them. I'll get some alcohol from old boy down the road, and we'll make a banana brandy, as I call it. And they said, great. So this is going to be a trial thing. And now the only thing I was, like I said, people enjoy drinking. Somebody would try this, and they'd be like, hey man, this is really good, and we need to get some of this and filter it and put it in a container, and we can drink it. Now, like I said, when I was a teenager, I came home one night sloppy ass drunk, and I got my ass handed to me by my mama. And then the next morning I got up ass crack of dawn, went down the next county, and I shoveled cow shit knee deep for 8.5 hours. That's all I did was clean out a dairy barn. And every time I started getting sweaty and clammy and everything else, one of the Mexican guys who worked down there came with a big old glass of water, and I chugged it down. Worst thing to do in your life, especially with a hangover, is drink water with a hangover, because it just makes you drunk again. And I puked my guts out so much, and that's why I don't drink. Now I'll sip on a beer every once in a while. Now that's about as much as I'll go. When it comes to whiskey, I won't touch it no more. I'm done. A beer is the strongest thing I'll touch. So, no. And some of y'all are thinking, well, here you are using alcohol and making stuff like this. Don't you ever taste it? Now, I go by smell. I don't go by taste. Occasionally, I will take a toothpick and I'll dab it, and just a small little dab, and I'll taste it. And if the flavor's there and it works, if it's more flavor than alcohol, then that's when I know I got something. But if I taste alcohol over flavor, I'm just like, I go in the kitchen, wash my mouth out, with my tongue with a piece of paper towel, and that's it. I don't do anything more. And it reverts back to my wilder teenage years when I got drunker and cootie brown, and shoveling cow shit knee deep for 8.5 hours. That broke me a drinking. Now, I understand a lot of people enjoy drinking. That's their business. That's their personal enjoyment. I'm not gonna rock it. Like I said, I used to be a drinker when I was a teenager, but things changed. Things took place, and Mama broke me a drinking. Kind of like sucking eggs. If you suck eggs a couple of times, you're done with it. But I got all kinds of other stuff I'm working on, different size quantities, everything else. But yeah, this is my little side hustle. I get a lot of stuff together this time of year. I find jugs all the time online. Usually people were trying to make wine, it didn't turn out, and they get frustrated and they put these jugs up online. I'm getting rid of this and this and this, and I'll be the first one. Where do you live and how much do you want for them? A lot of times I get them for free. These two jugs I have my elderberry, my blackberry in. I think I gave $5 a jug. Now some of you are thinking, $5 a jug? Why would you spend that much on an empty jug for? Well, it's a gallon jug. That 1 gallon jug of that blackberry, when it's said and done, it's that 1 gallon jug I spent $5 on. The berries I got for free because I picked them myself. The alcohol is worked out on a trade, so I'm out $5 on the whole jug, and I can make probably I'm gonna say $50 to $100 off that jug right there. So I spend $5. Let's just say I made $50 off that jug. I make $40 profit off that jug. Off $5. It's worth it to me. And then I can come back and reuse that jug again next year. Wash it all the funk in the bottom of it after it sits for so long. Wash all that stuff out and replace it with fresh berries and everything else the next year, coming year. Do the same thing with it, and then next year, after I do a little horse trading for alcohol, I can fill that bad boy up, and next year it'll be $50+ profit, no questions asked. So, and that's how I look at things. And I don't when I do take my stuff to market, I have it priced fairly cheap. And then when I do have people that come up that are military or active duty, they'll ask me how much the stuff is, and I'll tell them. And then of course I'll tell them, I'll just ask them, are you still active duty military? And if they say yes, I'm okay, just give me half the price of the container, or half the price of the product, and we'll call it even. And sometimes they do it and they're happy, and there's other times they're like, no, I can't do that, I'll just give you full price. And we'll kind of beat around the bush and hornswoggle a little bit. And sometimes they walk away with half price, and sometimes they don't, only because they're more stubborn than I am. So, but yeah, I mean, this is my wintertime hustle, it's my wintertime hobby. And but I know in the spring and the summer and the fall, what I do now is going to profit me then. And now I am going to be spending a little more than normal this year. What you want, Sylvester? Sylvester's my little kitty. Come on, I'm going to pick you up so you can be on camera. Come on, Sylvester. This is Sylvester. This is one of 6 kittens we have in the house. Now Sylvester is only 3 months old, and the one behind the camera that you can't see, that's over there playing on the top of the deep freezer, that's Crybaby, and then Big Mama's behind the Big Girl's behind in my bedroom behind the door, and then we have Sleepy. We have one we call Freckles, because it's a female and she got a freckle like right here on the cheek of her face. And then we got one called Patches. And my mind just went blank. I can't think. But y'all get the idea. And these are, as you see, this one here is already purring and sound asleep. Well, it was sound asleep. I guess I woke up so I quit moving. They'll sleep just like this too. If you hold them just like this, they will sleep just like this. You get so much milk, didn't you? But yeah, at nighttime, you always see all these pictures of people having dogs laying in their beds. at nighttime we'll have all 6 kittens or kitties in our bed. I have 2 or 3 above my pillow at nighttime. I have them laying on my sides, laying between my feet. I'm in the bed. They're like all over the place. It's a definitely electric blanket, well, a heated blanket in the wintertime. I'll say that much. But yeah, this is my video, and I'm getting dry mouth and getting tired. I need to take me a shower so I can go to bed. Because it's almost midnight. So y'all have a great weekend. Well, have a great week. Have a great Thanksgiving. And if there's anything information-wise you need from me, let me know. I'll be glad to share anything I can tell you. Anything I can give you to help you. If y'all want to make anything like this, that's great. Like I said, people in my area love it because most of the people are too lazy to do it themselves. So I make it and I let it sit for months at a time. And when it's ready to be bottled, I bottle it up. I get custom-made labels, which that's going to change because I'm going to be getting a label maker here soon. Of course, it'll be, I won't say soon, it'll be the next couple to few months I'll get a label maker. Because in March I'm getting my certification so I can start doing my home processing for cakes and breads and cookies and stuff like that. Because I've already dehydrated probably 5 pounds of tomatoes, and I'm going to be using that to make a garlic, oregano, and tomato bread, like loaf bread. And I'm going to be taking that to market in the spring. Of course, I'm going to work on it to get the critiquings down and everything else. So, yeah. And then I'm also going to be working on making bread bowls and a few other things of that nature. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be great for me because I'm going to be spending more time in the kitchen and more stuff around here working on things of this stuff. And, but yeah, y'all, like I said, y'all have a great night, and I will see y'all again soon.